morning, welcome back to American Truck Simulator. I'm David Steele, and you've just been looking at my truck. Now, we're in the last 125 miles or so, give or take, of a trip into Missouri. And today we're taking 123,500 pounds of transformer. I don't know if this is Optimus Prime or Megatron or what. We're taking a trip, with a very heavy transformer. And it was not my intention. Just come on, car. Just go or don't go. Don't just doof around like right there. Thanks for making me stop. I really appreciate that. That could have just been avoided. Okay, wow. It seems that drivers in this game affect me like they might in the real world. Not that I drive a big rig. Okay, where was I? Yes, we're taking a heavy haul today. Let's see, Kansas City, but the part of it in Missouri, 123,500 pounds, at least 128 miles. It's early in the morning, and we've been driving for a time. This is a reasonable trip, and this isn't necessarily the right vehicle I would have chosen for this drive. This is a LoneStar. Let's bring it up again. There we go. With a Michelin paint job, because we're all about diversity and equality here. And under the hood is a Cummins engine. It's running an X15. It's the efficiency. It's the 450 horsepower version. And this is the 2017 variant, I believe. So it's 1650 foot-pounds of torque. So it is not a powerhouse. In fact, I think for any heavy haul or heavier cargoes, you probably want an X15 performance in the LoneStar, or if it's an older truck, you might want an ISX 15, maybe the 550, or more likely the 600 horsepower version. But I digress. So yes, it's not really the right truck for this kind of trip. And Missouri is, in some parts of the state are flat, and some parts are most definitely not flat, and you really feel the lack of torque. Okay, right across the board, but especially when you come across what should be a gentle incline. It's got the automated transmission and grabbing gears lower. Speaking of transmission, this is an Endurant HD. It's the 12-speed automated box. Typically starts off in second gear, even with this kind of cargo behind you. And it's about to shift into top gear in a few seconds. It's got a 325 final drive. So in terms of gearing, it is about 1150 at 55, and I've set my cruise at 55 because we don't need to be pushing this thing any quicker, really. It's quite comfortable at that sort of speed. In fact, the X15 is a competent engine, and I like the A26 as well, and the S13, the International's newer engines. Is, let's face it, all of their engines in at least Steel Production's engine pack in terms of torque curve are likable. They drive just great. Reliability has been a concern for the older engines, but let's not discuss that right now. So yeah, Missouri is here, and I've had it. I did pick it up on launch day, and oh, that's pretty. I am exploring it. That's very pretty. Is this the Mississippi, I wonder? I don't know. I'm glad the road is straight. Let's just take a look at the map. It doesn't give me a clue, although maybe I should have seen a sign. I didn't read a sign, so okay, well, either way. So Missouri, and we've just passed an example of it's a little bit run down in the game, and having driven through parts of Missouri in real life, yeah, it's a little bit run down in real life. So it's good to see that SCS, they haven't highlighted it, but they also haven't necessarily hidden it either. So another map, another chunk of the US covered by SCS in American Truck Simulator, and what do I think? I like it. But then was I ever not going to like it. I enjoy what they're doing to the game. I think after a time it becomes to the point where, oh yeah, they added another map. But yeah, I enjoy it. Excuse me, big yawn. Look at these billboards. They've added a lot to the content to billboards, and there's this on the left, so I can zoom in on it when it comes over the window. Yeah, just interesting what they've done with the game. I have had to turn down some of my settings because the game just doesn't like to run at 60 frames a second with most any settings, to be fair now. But it runs okay at 30, and I use lossless scaling to double that up to 60, so a nice smooth experience, at least at the wheel. Using a lot of engine brake for the downshifting here. It's automatically downshifting for me, which is nice. Okay. Hey, another yawn from me, good grief. As for the LoneStar, I feel like it's been a while since I've driven the LoneStar. And in the Steel Productions engine pack, I don't use the International LoneStar engine sound for it, but I decided I actually missed that sound effect, and I added it back for purposes of today's drive. I remember when it was released, I wasn't really a fan of the sound, but it's grown on me, let's just say. I think I may have to add this back to the pack. I cruise up, I'll get it up to 55. If I'm coming to... Oh, okay, we're going to see how much this combination weighs. That's good. Okay, so... I don't know, I haven't actually been weighed with this trip so far, so... What am I going to guess? I'm going to guess 160,000 pounds. It's the long wheelbase LoneStar. It has a heavy trailer. I think it's a triple. Yeah, it's a triple. So it's going to be a 40,000 pound trailer. Oh, this is new. No, it's not. No, okay. I thought that there was a barrier after the stop sign, but there isn't. Let's take a look. A line behind me, a bit of a queue behind me, I should say. Oh, that was not very smooth, David. It was very rough. 175. Wow, that's heavier than I thought. All right, let's get back on the power. I'm going to get this this combination back up to 55. So yeah, where you notice it's just not got the same acceleration off the line. It's okay, but there's a slight gradient here. So I've got the power down pretty hard, not all the way. Now it's all the way. I'm going to merge into lane 2 or the middle lane, and I'm not going to use cruise control. Cruise control will shift up as soon as it can, and it doesn't take into account that you're going up a hill. Unless it's a steep hill and you're really aggressively being slowed down. So it might have shifted up for me, but instead, by keeping the throttle all the way down and driving it in manual as opposed to cruise control, it's holding on to 9th gear. And yeah, and it's now starting to accelerate again, which is good. Okay. So I'll go ahead and use cruise and see how, as soon as I hit resume, it immediately shifted up. So, yep, that works for me. I'm going to go up to 10th. So just a couple of gears left. You can hold 35 in 11th gear. And let's see if it does that. Pretty much. Maybe that's 36, but it's close enough. And we'll see if we have to downshift on the way up. This again, it's a little bit of a gradient going on here. And it really might want to downshift for the extra power, but well, it's up to 40 at least. So yeah, Missouri is out. The cruising Missouri challenge is up. This is going to be, if this qualifies, and I think it will, it'll be my 4th or my 5th entry into that list. I'm not I don't feel the need to rush out and complete all those at once. I'm just enjoying driving around. And that actually leads me on to something that I've thought about for a time, and that is, after I released my mod pack, I started spending more and more time working on developing engines and oh, that's interesting. Keep left and keep right. I guess it just means go straight ahead. Started spending more and more time developing engines and testing engines rather than just driving around in the game. Well, okay, that's just what it felt like as an anecdote. But I looked at my my mileage covered for 2020, 2021, 2022, 23, and 24, and now 25, and you know, there's a definite pattern. I am driving less recently as I have to 3-4 years ago. And I think some of that is because there's been a really big push towards just getting engines in the engine pack, to getting things refined, to getting engines I've got to be how I like them. And certainly for the American engines, I think I'm never going to say it's finished. I'm never going to say it's there. What I am going to say is it's kind of where I wanted it to be. I'm speeding. Yep, I don't need to be speeding. Thanks, Doug. Oh, well, great. And now the speed changes. It's something I'm going to turn off anyway, so... Okay. The game lagged a little bit there. Let's keep on my aggressive engine braking, I think. Okay, we go... Whoa, right over the curb, David. Way to go. That's me rushing as I try and narrate what's going on here. Alright, let's use the left-hand lane. I must have messed that one up proper. So yeah, I've been driving a little less. Driving less for pleasure and more, I'm not going to say as a business, but just not enjoying the game like I used to. And, you know, ultimately, that's kind of sad. And like I was saying, I don't think I'm going to consider this engine pack to be finished. But I'm happy with the state of where it is for the American game. Now, the European game, yeah, there are more engines I'd like to add. Finding information on the engines out there is tougher in Europe as opposed to the US. And that is, that's just interesting. I imagine it's because maybe European manufacturers just didn't release as much information online. Maybe I'm not able to access it in the US. Could try using a VPN. Maybe that's why. But either way, it's been a little harder to get information on the European engines and the UK engines. But that's it's a different game to this. I think right now I'm happy with how most of these engines are. There are some that I go back and I'm like, I really think I could refine this engine a little bit more, and I'll sit down and I'll work with it and I'll enjoy it and I'll work with it some more and I'll refine it. And you'll see a little note in the release notes of the Steel Productions engine pack that might say something like, I don't know, refined Caterpillar C11, mostly at the bottom end, and maybe I'm just essentially taking off a rough edge under 1200 RPM, and most people most of the time just wouldn't notice a difference because everything above that engine speed
kind of on time
hasn't been changed. But I feel the difference. Right, well, let's see. It won't have me do a difficult maneuver, but it might give me the chance to do... Where should I place it? Yeah. Not the hardest maneuver in the world to do this. This is a bit of a Han Solo parking maneuver. I've got to do a gentle left turn here. And if you're familiar with Family Guy, or for that matter, A New Hope Star Wars movie, you'll be well aware of what we're doing right now. Of course, if this were Star Wars, behind me would be a fleet of Star Destroyers just being confused about where I'm going. This paint job almost looks purple in this light. It's pretty. Yeah, maybe it is purple. Okay. Really well with me for the last part of the trip there. Let's go ahead and shut it down. Okay. So, fuel consumption wise, I've been trying fairly hard to get reasonable results. I think that's fair to say, but we've asked a lot of a fairly low-powered engine, and the gearing is a little tall, so I'm going to hope for 5 miles per gallon. I don't really know what we'll have done, so let's go find out. Drum roll, everyone. So 425. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's fair enough. Right, what were we doing? So I got distracted by my cat pawing at my leg. I think she wants something. What do you want, girl? Okay, right. So what is this? 425 miles and 100 gallons. I mean, that's 4 miles per gallon just straight away there. So a bit less than I hoped. About 4.2. Well, I mean, hey, yes, I know Go-Cat. Yes, yes. I think she hasn't been fed for the last 17 minutes. That's all irrelevant. Okay, well, short and sweet. Hope you got something from this trip. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have got Missouri and you've been cruising around and you enjoy it, let me know. If you think it's a terrible map, then also let me know as well. Not that I have any influence or sway on SCS, but hey, it would just be interesting to see how it works. But, right, I hope you got something from this. I'll see you the next time. Thanks so much, everyone. Goodbye.